Hey folks, do you often find yourself falling into patterns or these sort of loops in your interactions with others where you end up in a sort of role that you just play over and over and over, or you carry out the same sort of interaction constantly? In psychology, we call these scripts. And a bit like the script of a play or a movie or TV show, they are the sort of outlines of how we interact in a given scenario and with a given set of characters. So if you have someone in your life where you interact with them constantly, then you may find yourself falling into these scripts. And sometimes when we're in a script, it doesn't feel like we have full autonomy or agency, or it doesn't feel like we're necessarily consciously making these choices with the full awareness and control that we make some other choices. And so it can feel a little bit frustrating or beyond our control at times when we fall into these scripts. And sometimes scripts can really spiral out of control and become a problem, or they can get us stuck in ruts. And I'm not saying that all scripts are bad. We can have good scripts as well. Like, if you wake up every morning, give your partner a kiss, tell them to have a great day, and then you go and you make them coffee, and then you go on with the rest of your day. That is probably a healthy script for your relationship. So it's not that all scripts are bad. I don't want to give you that impression. But oftentimes we can find ourselves locked into scripts that just don't serve us anymore or don't benefit that relationship, especially. So when we find ourselves in these scripts, it's important to find a way to break out of them. And this is where the kind of concept, or at least what I talk with my clients about, the concept of flipping the script. And I was looking into where exactly that phrase comes from. And apparently it actually comes from graffiti, which I think is pretty cool, flipping the script as in turning it upside down. But for even longer in psychology, the concept of the script has existed. And I just kind of run with this idea of flip the script because it's an effective way to break the scripts and find ourselves in a new role, or really just break down a script that's not serving us. So flipping the script, as what I call it when I work with clients to do this, is how can we find a way to reorient, to invert, or to somehow alter the script so we can break free of it. Because often when we get into systems, and that's systems of behavior as well, systems are very self-repeating. They get locked in and they will just cycle and cycle and cycle. And it takes a shock to the system to sort of reorient, to reset, to chart a new path forward. And so flipping the script is the shock to that system. So when I work with clients, maybe it's something like they are caught in this script where they get home and then they both complain to their partner about their jobs. And this leads to just a sort of negativity that carries through dinner. And then they have to engage in watching a show or something very sort of distracting to kind of calm their nerves back down before they can actually interface with each other as, loving individuals. And that's not a great script if you're not really kind of giving love to your partner until it's nearly the end of the night. So if it's something like that and they want to break that script, then we got to flip it somehow. So what I would recommend, I guess, in that specific instance, if they're open to ideas, is maybe you come home and you set a moratorium on complaining. You just don't vent about the job. You focus on other things. You reorient your attention to the relationship and not to the sort of script that you guys are in to just sort of repeat the negativity and complain and then let that ruin the rest of your night. So I often work with clients in finding ways to break those scripts, to flip those scripts and find a new way forward. So if you find yourself in a script today, or if you come to awareness and you're halfway through the play, try to find a way to break it. Or if you can notice it from the outside and you find yourself about to enter the scene, then think about ways in which you can behave oppositely. I think doing opposite action is an effective way to flip the script. Or if you can just kind of start the script in a new way. If you can orient it towards a sort of social outcome that would be more pleasing to you rather than getting caught in the rut of cycling through that script. So learning how to flip the script can be a really effective way at breaking the negative cycles of interactions that we have with people. And this can be anyone. This can be your boss, this can be your partner, this can be your child. So anytime that you feel like you're caught in a rut and you're finding it hard to break out of cycles of negative interactions, consider flipping the script. If you have any questions about how this works or need more examples, let me know. I'd be happy to expand on this further. Thanks for watching.